Now I'm curious about science and the Judeo-Christian creation story. So I've come to Rome, where Michelangelo's breathtaking Sistine Chapel ceiling depicts the book of Genesis. In 6 days, God creates light, makes the sun and the moon, and creates man. I've come to speak with the Pope's chief science representative, Monsignor Marcelo Sanchez Sorondo. Now, you are the Chancellor of the Pontifical Academy of Sciences.
Exactly.
When did that get started and why?
In 1603.
1603.
And three, yes. And the leader of the first generation was Galileo. And the idea is to have a new academy to develop the scientific reason of things.
So we have the two different approaches to the idea of creation. There was the book of Genesis, and then there's the Big Bang.
The Big Bang is not creation, exactly, because we don't know what was before the Big Bang.
My question, exactly.
And for this reason, creation is nothing to do with the Big Bang. The other thing is that the idea of the Bible is not a scientific idea of creation.
In other words, science can't prove it or disprove it.
Exactly. We say in the Bible is the idea of creation, but in the theological sense of creation, not scientific sense of creation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Catholic Church no longer sees the book of Genesis as a literal description of creation. In fact, the first scientist to propose the Big Bang, Georges Lemaitre, was a priest and a member of the Pontifical Academy of Science. So how exactly does belief in God fit into modern cosmology? So this incredibly high vaulted ceiling, it's just like reaching for heaven.
Yes, in a certain sense. It's a representation of heaven, of a theological heaven.
I'm meeting with Father Giuseppe Tanzellaniti, a scientist at the Vatican Observatory. I'm very, very fascinated by you. You're an astronomer, and you are a holy man.
Yes, my field of study was radio galaxies, quasars, extragalactic objects. And it was another kind of heaven. I remember that when we take a galaxy spectra, I used to pray during the waiting for the spectra and to say, God, I thank you for this marvelous universe that you gave us.
There must have come at some point a question for you about the nature of creation. We think that there's like a big schism between the biblical sense of creation and the other one is the scientific sense of the Big Bang, and it's all very different.
Creation, from a theological point of view, is perfectly compatible with the Big Bang, because you need always a first cause. God, the Creator, is outside space-time, is before any time. So the act of creation is an everlasting act, because creation is the way in which God continuously holds the universe.
For Giuseppe and others like him, cosmology not only allows room for divine creation, it offers new ways to understand God as the master of space and time. I like what Father Giuseppe says about creation as a continuum, that it didn't begin and end with the Big Bang, that it is God's ongoing activity, which includes evolution. think what he was saying is God does not exist outside space and time. God is space and time.
The idea that creation is ongoing sounds like a new one, but it's not.